The climate crisis poses a bigger challenge to the British government and indeed governments all over the world than pretty much anything that we've seen in the past. And so the experience of the past will be helpful, but on its own it won't be enough. So the climate crisis, I think, needs consistent prioritisation, not just over one term of government, but over decades. And we the British, along with many other countries, have set a goal last year in COP26 to eliminate, to be carbon neutral by 2050 or earlier in our case. So there's these goals for 20 odd years out. The risk is, and I see this happening around the world, is that people come to Glasgow in 2021, they set their COP26 target, they go away, it's published, and then nothing gets done. So at the moment, I think government around the world is not equipped to tackle the climate crisis. And there are three things that I would say a British government needs to do, and some of this they're already on the case. One is they need to level with people. People need to understand the implications of the climate crisis and what it's going to take to change, for example, the way many homes in this country are heated is a big challenge. We're making really good progress on electric vehicle adoption, and you can see increasing numbers of rapid electric vehicle chargers around the country. So that's progress. But on home heating, we've got a whole big step to take, and on a range of other things. So the first thing a government needs to do is level with people, explain what this climate crisis means and why we have to make these changes. The second thing, it needs a plan not just to get to 2050, which is a kind of long-term plan, but it needs to set out, and if we're going to hit that 2050 target, we need to do this in the next 5 years. Plant this many trees, rescue this many moorland areas, or whatever it means, channel this many rivers, do these on biodiversity. So that we need to chunk the 2050 goal into 3 and 5 year blocks where we can say, yes, we did that, and now we're on track. And then the third thing that the government needs to do is build a range of people, a group of people at the centre of government and in each local authority who have the skills to make this happen, the knowledge and the skills. We've had, the British have had the COP presidency for the last year, so Alok Sharma has been a cabinet minister under Boris Johnson. He's still a cabinet minister under Liz Truss, and he's been leading our drive into the Glasgow conference last year and through this year. He's done well in engaging with people around the world, but we have to be a voice in the world for climate change and addressing it in a systematic way. And the big risk of the 2050 targets, and they're really important, the big risk though is that everybody thinks, well, we don't have to do anything until 2030 or 2040. Actually, there's stuff we have to do between now and 2030 if we're to get anywhere near the targets that have been set for 2050. So if you're a prime minister anywhere in the world, you need to make sure somebody in your cabinet is really focused on the climate crisis, not just 2050, but what we're going to do this year, next year, and the year after.